timer. Are you counting down when I say I'm ready?
Whichever you prefer, you can count me down or I can count you down.
Okay, I'll count down. Let me just get into the bit where we start the timing. Because you know, you got to be different from every other cage game here. Right. So I'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. Hooray, BBS. Right. So this is Birthright Sleep Final Mix HD. This is Aqua Beginner we'll be playing. Kind of a different category to crit, which is the more common one shown. First things first, I'm gonna do orbs. I missed the combo. There's a combo you can get at the start there, which knocks the 2 back orbs into each other. It's not incredibly consistent if your positioning is wrong, but it's fine. So the second wave, I'm gonna Bubble Blaster through. Okay. Ooh, that wave went kind of well. So these two should stop at the back. So Ben ruined this. It's fine though. It's fine. I'm gonna leave those two to kill that one. Okay. The hell's the sword? That's fine. I'm running splits by myself, so I know what pace I'm on. If you wonder why there's a button clicking every now and then. So essentially, I kind of have to rely on Terra and Ven to do some of the work there. Oh, there's a cutscene there. It's not very consistent, but whatever. It's a marathon run. It doesn't really matter. It's no reset. So we skip a bunch of cutscenes there. We get some things called D-links, which I'll get into a little bit later. And the first world you go to is Chaos of Dreams. The start of this world's actually enter the world, please. The start of this world is mostly just movement. There's a few chests I pick up, mostly for money. This one here is for an ability. So that's a fleeting crystal. So in this game, the way you get your abilities is via melding commands. So commands gain levels. When there's certain levels, you can meld them with each other and other commands in order to get stronger abilities. And you can attach a crystal onto them to give the commands abilities such as magic haste, boosts, and fire boosts, and things like that. So we heavily abuse that. This is here just a piece of D-Link movement. The D-Link animation of you going into a D-Link can only happen when you're on the ground. So if you jump and do it, the game forces you onto the ground really quickly in order to load the D-Link. We use that in a couple of places to drop down from a gap real fast. That quick blitz is there just to quickly get over the ledge. Right, first menu. Cool. So those 2 chests are specifically needed for money. In the third world. But now I'm just doing some movement. Right. So in this game, the fastest way to move is to abuse your dodging command. So with Aqua, it's cartwheels. But also you got to time out your inputs. You can't just mash out your dodges. You've actually got a there's a rhythm to it. There's a rhythm that I use to do it. But the kind of general idea is you dodge, take a step, dodge, take a step, dodge, take a step. You kind of get used to it. If like you listen to the game audio, you can hear it. You can hear the first step happen, but it's one of those things I've just gotten used to. So this is Jacques. So this guy has 6 paths that he can possibly take. It's not very consistent. He can take whichever one he really feels like. There's no real... He doesn't bias to any particular path. So here, I'm just going to try and get a bit of extra money here. And see where this guy goes. Right. Alright, connect me to that one.
Alright, cool. I am seeing you. That's awesome. Okay.
I'm guessing it just kicked me from the other one.
Probably should have gone to intermittent. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's probably an RTMP issue on our end.
Yeah.
This looks like it's working.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry about that. Go
Am
ahead
I
and
good to go?
continue.
Am I good to go ahead now? Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. When did it cut off? Just a minute ago.
Yeah, just recently.
Okay, that's fine. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, command. Right, so that's the command I pick up. I use it in the boss and then I sell it. So yeah. But that there seems to be an issue with the server I was streaming to. It just kicks me off, then it wouldn't let me back on again. So just doing some movement here. Yeah, do a nice little sequence break here in the next room. So basically there's a ledge that you're not meant to be able to grab onto because your jump isn't high enough. You're meant to use high jump to get up there. But if you go to this side of the wall and kind of wedge yourself between the bush and the wall, you grab the ledge. So you can get over here and get this lovely free Fission Faraga chest at the beginning of the run. Cool. I'll shove that and poison on. And then move on to the next bit. Cool. So the next boss fight is Magic Mirror. So I'm going to do the same thing by D-Link here. Use it to drop down real fast. And then there's a group of floods that spawn over here. That's hit one. I just know where they are from my positioning in most positions. It's one of those things that I just kind of have a feeling for in this game now. Right, so this fight. I'm going to start with using a jump hit and then I'm going to poison and then I'm going to try and meet his hit counter. So the way this guy works is you hit him 6 times, 7 times, something like that. And then the next hit after that will make him fly to the floor. So the whole idea is you knock him down and then he gives you some decent patterns there. This is not a good hallway one. So essentially, hallway he can appear basically wherever. He doesn't bias it anywhere. But it tends to be it tends to be more further away than ahead of you sometimes. Cool. So that boss fight was actually pretty decent there. He gave me an okay set of attacks. So essentially the speed of that boss fight completely depends on the attacks that he decides to give you. The hallway one's good if he gives you a spawning position really, really close to you. He can give you one that's like a good 30 seconds away from wherever you're stood. But he's generally always in the direction that you're facing when he goes underground. And appears around you. Right, so now we're in Enchanted Dominion. And this world is home to goons. And on beginner, goons aren't really that scary at all. On crit, these guys are horrendously scary. Freaking scary, sorry. I nearly dropped the F-bomb because I'm British and can't stop swearing. Sell that. Sell that. Sell that. Sell that. So that should have money. Oh, really, game? Right, I have to go out here and kill a couple of enemies now. Because I don't have enough money to do the shop. Oh, I forgot to pick up the bloody high potion chest, that's why. Fine. I can go back to the shop now. Right, so that's a bad on my part. I forgot the chest I was going to pick up, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Oh, really? I forgot the camera's always behind you when you enter that room. Right, so now I need to buy 4 of them and 1 of them. As you can probably tell, this run's been horrendous so far, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Because I'm an idiot and forgot how to play video games. That's fine. So this is a neat little trick here. Really, game? Oh my god, game. Thank you, game. Right. That's not meant to happen. God damn. I apologise for me playing like trash. God damn. I'm an idiot. I'm absolutely stupid. I'm so sorry. I lost a minute here. Right, so these guys all should come towards me. They don't always, but... And... Okay, cool. That was a good fight. God damn. I got kind of unlucky with money there as well, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Being a no reset marathon run and all, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Right, so I'm going into the second goons fight now. So this fight's a lot more specific with what you're supposed to do. So there's certain goons that you have to kill in order to force Philip to go and do certain reaction commands, or RCs as I'll probably refer to them. There's one where he breaks the corners on one of the walls, but you've got to kill enough goons to get him to go to it. If there are goons left, he doesn't go to it. So now what I'm going to do is these guys spawn. Gonna go here. Go here. Gonna leave. Kill that one. Oh my god, please. It doesn't really matter. Right, cool. Right, so you're meant to ledge grab here and go all the way around, but you can just go like that and get a nice little combo up there. And these guys should all fly towards me now. Oh, really, Philip? Phil is completely bodying me right now. So usually computers in this game are not really people that you want in your party, to be honest. Because they do this to you. Where they just completely destroy you. So now I'm going to go that. And Philip should go here. That's fine. Right, so another little quirk of this game, if like you're locked onto an object, commands can go through walls if the Keyblade's on the other side of the wall when the command starts. So you can use it to hit the cog up there with the Fission Paraga. Right, so I'm going to melt some commands now. Just use my feeding crystals to get some magic hastes. Cool, right. So, before going into the next boss fight, which is Dragon Maleficent, I need to get to level 4 so I get a magic increase. Not only does it speed up the fight, but my EXP needs to be at that point for the fight afterwards as well with in Radiant Garden. Otherwise, you can't kill things fast enough. But it also needs to be that because of how the EXP is routed for this speedrun. So I'm just gonna quickly grab it here. Oh, I didn't mean to use the 12-week finisher there. So that was an accident 12-week finisher, but it doesn't really matter. Right. So now I'm going into the next boss fight, which is with Dragon Mail. So, the way this boss fight works is she has basically, she goes through a couple of patterns of attacks. Be it she sobs at you, she hits the ground, she shoots fire or whatever. It's after 2 attack cycles, she can do an attack cycle where she flies. She doesn't always do it, but it's the more common attack cycle that you can get. So essentially, the whole idea is I just want to do enough damage to her in the time it takes her to finish these 2 attack cycles. So, Ice Barrage, Vision Paraga, Magnet. So she is going to fly in this fight because of her doing fire right here when I'm doing my Scroll Weaver finisher. And I need to do that. I'm just going to grab some extra damage here with the Magnet and the Bubble Blaster. Oh, right. So I was trying to hit her with the Firaga there, but it didn't really work. It's fine, doesn't really matter. So it's fine. So now I'm going to lock on and shoot that, and she should die. Cool. So now, going to Radiant Garden now. Just skipping a few cutscenes, going into Radiant Garden. Right, so, one difference between this and, the crit categories is obviously the crit you play at level 1. On beginner, you need a lot of EXP. So, I'm going to grab an Abandon Crystal here from the Mandrake enemies. Because that gives me the ability EXP Walker. And what EXP Walker does is every time you take a step, I believe it's 2 experience you get per step, and a step counts as when you take a step, when you cartwheel, when you attack, when you jump, when you land, when you block an attack. Basically, anytime your feet leave and hit the floor again, it counts. So I'm going to sleep these guys, and then I'm going to lob my Keyblade at them. Grab myself an Abandon Crystal, nice. Also got a nice Aurora drop there. That's basically a free 300 money for me. So the command I used there was Grumpy. In the Snow White D-Link, the commands are called after the dwarfs, but they actually are commands. And Grumpy is Treasure Raid, and what Treasure Raid does is whenever it hits an enemy, it grants a higher chance to nab the enemy's drop, hence the name Treasure Raid. It tries to find the treasure for you. Right, so this is Mickey Fight. Well, this is what we call Mickey Fight. So the start of this fight is Magnet Arrow, and then just a single way hit, so I get the spinning one. Go in the middle of the Mandrakes. Just Firaga them. Magnet these last guys, and these guys spawn. Arrow. Try and move around a little bit, just so these guys spawn into my stuff. Come over here. Then come back over here so I can grab all of them. Cool. Oh, I missed my splits there. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Right, so my next menu here is going to be a quick one to put on a stronger Keyblade, which is Destiny's Embrace. And then I'm going to quickly meld... Oh, they didn't level up! Oh my word, dude. How close are they? Oh, Magnet didn't level up. That is bad. So what I'm going to do in this situation is I'm going to leave through here. There's a cutscene here that plays, which I usually get later, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. And then I'm going to Firaga those guys. And leave. Because essentially I need to make my thing before I leave the world, so I get enough EXP. There's my EXP Walker. You know, every possible, conceivable thing that could go horrendously wrong is going horrendously wrong. It's pretty good. Sell Aurora, sell Ice Barrage. Buy 6 of them. Right, so this is kind of, I'd say, some people might call it a boring bit of the run, but essentially I'm going to grind up a few levels. I need to get to level 16 and then leave this world. Basically, the reason why it saves time is because then you start blasting through the end of the game. Oh, it's an average milestone right now. Don't Don't worry about it. Oh my god, the game gave me good RNG there. That's fine. It's making up for it now. Good game. Good. 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 Right, so I need both the drops from Mickey. Because what Mickey's D-Link ability is double EXP. So what it does is in the title, it gives you double the amount of EXP. I don't know if I don't remember if it affects the EXP walker or not. I don't want to make a claim that it doesn't. Oh really? Now I've got to push me into that. That's fine. So this is an average segment right now. Good. Push into that. Oh really, game? So now I get Sign of Faith. And Sign of Faith is an incredibly good move. Right. Also nabbed a level up for Terra there because you get 2 slide dashes. And also, I'm walking around a little bit after I kill enemies, just while I'm waiting to pick up the D-Link crystals. Just so I get extra EXP from the EXP walker. Oh my god, please. Thank you. Right. So. Now I need to level up my other stuff. That's fucking drop. That's not what I need though. I need to get crystal drop. I mean, I've already got 4 magic case, so I need a shimmering and I need a... yeah, because I'm also looking for specific drops during this. I can't talk right now. So hopefully I get them. Nice fleeting crystal. That's the fleeting crystal I need. Now I just need a shimmering drop. Or actually a pulsing drop would be fine as well. So essentially there's different abilities that you can get from different crystals. That's why I'm looking for specific ones. I don't actually know what level I am right now. 14. I'm gonna make my stuff now. Oh god. Fleeting. Right, so I didn't want to talk about it before I melded them, but there's a 10% chance that either of those could turn into another command. And if you get one of them, your run's fine. If you get 2 of them, your run's dead. And I didn't want to get both of them because then I'd have to go back and buy some more commands and then regrind them up. Oh, then I get a shimmering drop. It's fine. Leaf Brace is infinitely more important, actually. So now I'm gonna leave. So now I can make my descent on leaving. So I'm gonna kill these guys. And then I'll hit level 16 on the way out. Cool. I didn't know if I would hit it through movement, but so I had to kill extra things just to make sure I hit it through movement. Right, so now we're going back to Radiant Garden now. Very cool. So now we are going to go fight the boss called Trinity Armor. So this guy just gets absolutely decimated when you're this high level at this point in the game. So I'm going to try and get into Firestorm and use the Firestorm finisher on him. And then I just kind of take it from there. Usually just have to react to what he does. But essentially I'm just going to use a bunch of fires and spam some attacks. It's pretty good, really. And hopefully he should take... Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Didn't get it. So you can skip this attack here if you get a good... If, like, you kill the things in the correct way. So essentially I'm just going to have to fight this out now. That's perfectly fine. Right, so next in Radiant Garden, I've got I'm going straight into another boss fight here with Vanitas. To kind of explain how Vanitas works in this game. If you play K3, he's nothing like that game. K3, they fixed him. In this game, he can dodge attacks whenever he feels like it. If you hit him, he can be like, haha, no, get out of my face, and just teleport behind you. But he's affected by status conditions in these fights. In this one, he's affected by some useful ones. He's affected by zero gravity spells, but he's also affected by magnet. So I'm gonna go in with one magnet. It's more consistent if you go in with two, but I like going in with one, so I have to do an extra menu. But essentially, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to catch him in a magnet, hopefully, and then just kill him straight out. So with 5 magic haste, this is very, very much easier. No, I've got 4 right now. But essentially, if you can put on 2 magnets, you get another haste, which makes this easier. It's just an extra menu. It's not really worth it. Cool. So after this first kind of magnet, this is where this fight gets kind of sketchy. Because, you can just do this. And just kind of destroy you. Now I'm just going to have to play it by ear. And attack him. Oh, I didn't mean to use that move. That's fine. You kind of got to play that fight by ear, but essentially the whole idea is you get him caught in a magnet and then you just kill him. If you go in with 2 magnets, it's a bit more consistent, but it's a little bit slower on your menus. So you gain time here, but you lose it. You lose a little bit later. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Right, so now we get a lovely 3-minute minigame, which I cannot skip because it is an unskippable minigame, therefore I cannot skip it. Where I play football against some unversed with fruit. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask in chat about running this game or anything about BBS speedruns in general, I will be happy to answer. Because I always struggle to fill these segments unless there's donation reading going on. I just be like, go ham, you can talk for 3 minutes, don't worry about it, bro. Go ham, go. But no, I'm just playing freaking fruit ball. Just playing football against some shoes. They were useless, by the way. Their AI is so bad, it's hilarious. You can literally, like, sometimes they're really good, but a lot of the time they're really bad. You can literally, like, usually this is the, like, toilet break. Imagine a 50-minute run having a toilet break. Oh, hot stuff. But essentially, like, I've put the controller down with 0 points before. Come back. And, yeah, they've scored 5 against themselves. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. This is on PlayStation 4. So, Birth by Sleep has been released on PSP, PS3, and on PS4. The PS4 version is the best version of this game by far. The only, like, 60 FPS makes this, like, the 60 FPS and HD on the PS4 is beautiful, but if they fixed a couple of like texture things. There were some textures that you could cartwheel and dodge over on PS3 and PSP. You can't do it on PS4. It doesn't really matter. It saves like they each save like 0.5 seconds. It's not even, you can just jump over them. Like the ledge at the start where the ledge in Castle Dreams to grab the high potion that I quick blitzed over. You could actually just like cartwheel over that on the other version, on the earlier versions of this game. But yeah, the main benefit of playing on the PS4 is that load times are really good, but also, as far as we know, you don't need a Pro and SSD. We haven't 100% tested it again because KH2's since been found to be faster since the PS4 versions have been released. So this game's really accessible to get into. Actually, like you just need the PS4 version. English and JP, it doesn't matter. They're both the same speed. Japanese does not save time in this game. It's just for swag points, basically. If you're not a Japanese speaker. There is no scrolling text in this game that matters, or well, there's no real scrolling text in this game. But to give you an idea of how fast the PS4 version is, right? So when we first started playing it, the PS4 versions are about 20 minutes faster. Depends on the category, because some have more loading screens than others. For Terra Beginner. For Terra on Beginner, the world record on PS3 is 108.40 something. The world record on PS4 is 48. So it saves 20 minutes on average. About that. Just do a quick menu here. Oh nice, I got an ignore drop. Oh god, go in the well please. Right, so this force fight. I'm going to running around my magnet into Fission Faraga because that does the most amount of damage thing. Or just mess it up completely. It's fine. Fine, I get Fission Faraga on these guys now. Fission Faraga. And hopefully this ends it. Ah, the flood. The flood! Hercules, how could you do this to me? How could this happen to me? Oh, yeah. So sometimes floods and sometimes things just get away from you in that fight. There's not much that you can do about it. Oh, I hit level 18 really early. Right, so this is 10 rounds. There's basically 10 rounds of timed fights, but you beat them all so fast the time doesn't even matter. Right, so this guy dies to 2 Firagas, basically. These guys die from Magnet into Fission Faraga. They sometimes die from just the Fission Faraga, depends on their positioning and stuff. These guys do the same. I like to hit those guys first, so so like your position's in the middle more, so the explosion hits more of them. Cool. One, two, three. Okay. Nice. So just kind of the same idea in every round, just kind of Magnet, then Fission Faraga. Nice. You don't always get that quick kill. You sometimes have to jump and do another Firaga. Right, so round 9, you can use Mind Square on this fight. And they will die. Right, so this last one I need to mash out 2 magnets, and all these jellyfish have 1 HP, so they all die in 1 hit. Turn through the camera a little bit. Nice. Right, so now kind of a bit of a weird route. I'm going to leave this world. And I'm going to go to deep space. So this route, wow, it came up 2017, but we all ignored it because we're stupid. A Japanese runner of Birth by Sleep called Yuko Noko or something he's called? Yuko, I'll just refer to him as Yuko. Basically, he came up with this route that I'm using here. Where essentially what you do is you go to 10 rounds and then you basically try to get level 18 before going into this world, so then the damage drop off isn't as severe as the old route. Die, please. So just so the damage drop off isn't as severe. And then it speeds up this world by a little bit without losing much time at all. And by a little bit, I mean quite a bit, because it's still faster even with map movement and stuff. Because you do an extra bit of map movement, because obviously you got to go back to OC. But like the damage drop off by coming straight here is pretty harsh, even when you're level like 16, 17 coming into this world. But being level 18, having the extra magic point makes it so the damage drop off is not that harsh at all, and also it's still fast. But also it makes it so you have hyperdrive for the bosses in OC, which speeds up the boss fights. It is not needed for the force fights because of damage scaling on the unversed. Is because the magic stat's the same on the Keyblade. It doesn't matter at all. Right, so this is kind of the worst fight in the run. So this has got to take that. It's basically just a mini game that I'm going to kind of sit in the middle and try and hit everything before they hit me and kill me. By kill me, I mean Lamau, I'm on beginner, I just can't die. Oh my god, please. So, essentially, I sit in the middle like an idiot and shoot these guys. Because, you know, YOLO. Oh, thanks for pushing me, dude. Oh my god, there's another one. Oh my god, this freaking fight, dude. Lamau every day, dude. Lamau every day. Right, so after that fight, I have to clear this room in order to use the teleporter in the middle. So essentially my strat kind of involves doing kind of specific movement and things to try and catch everything. So hopefully this goes well. And it did. So essentially my strat on beginner there is to aggro everything towards me and gather them in one place. It saves probably about 4 to 5 seconds if you get it perfectly right. It saves like 1 or 2 in an average world. It's pretty obvious. So start this fight, run up, mine square. So I'm going to smack those guys with a Fire Auger. Get that guy with that. Gather that guy towards me. Get that guy towards me. Cool. Decent fight. And level 20, nice. So, level 20 a little bit earlier than usual. Right, so we've got to do a quick shop here. Sell both of them. Sell that. Oh, I don't need to buy 2 of them. Buy 1 of them. Put on that. Move that. Right, cool. So now onto the boss of this world. So the boss of this world is Gantu. And Gantu is pretty easy. He's kind of just a brick wall that you lob a bunch of damage at. I'm going to try and hit him with a couple of Mind Squares, and if Mind Squares hit him correctly, they absolutely decimate his health. So, bit of anti-grav movement here. I'm going to go into Terror here, just so I can slide dash across this bit, save a little bit of time. So at the start of this fight, he is going to do one of two things. He does one of two gunshot attacks, one where he does a fast shot around him and one where he does a slow shot. It doesn't matter which one he does on beginner. So I just kind of fire Arga him a couple of times and then set down my Mind Square. Cool, that's what I want him to do. Then he'll do that attack now. Nice. That was a good fight. That was a very good fight. So, what Guarantee does is actually proximity based. If you're a set distance away from him, he'll try and shoot you. If you're in front of him, he will either try and slap you or he'll charge at you. So it's kind of one of those things where you just kind of got to get used to what he does and when he does it. Oh god, what am I doing? Thank you. Right, so time for Zac. I like this strat. This is a very cool strat actually. So the old strat for this guy used to be kind of do a Fire Arga loop on him. No. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to Fire Arga him into pieces of the Mind Square. And then when I get that built up, and then just kind of kill him at the end. That fight was kind of slow because he kind of flew far away. So the whole idea is you want to keep him in the middle, and then you get the sword build, the blade charge built up earlier, and then you can do a quick air combo on him and he dies. Sorry about that. Right, so this is the fight with Hades. Hades Nice Colossus. You want to try and kill these guys at the same time because Hades has a DM, a desperation move that just wastes time if he does it. So essentially, I'm going to do that. Place down that, and Fire Arga him just to try and 1, 2. That was a very good fight. Very good fight. So I try and kill them both at the same time to try and minimize the risk of him doing a desperation move. Because if you kill Ice Colossus too quickly, the chance of Hades doing his desperation move like quadruples is actually ridiculous. So I try and kill them both at around the same time. And also it's just straight fast to kill them both out at the same time. You used to kill one of them and then go for the other one and just kind of eat crap if like he decides to DM you because you lose blade charge and that's it, you're just done. But yeah, that's how you do it now. Right, so this is Neverland. So this world's kind of pointless. I'm going to go in a huge circle because the lore of this world is Aqua's taking the lost boys on a scavenger hunt. And then I go back into the room I started in at this world, the Indian camp, and fight a boss. Oh, nice. So when you're cutscene skipping in this game, you can skip the cutscene as soon as the loading heart in the bottom right-hand corner has disappeared. If you do what I did there, that's the frame perfect cutscene skip. I wasn't even trying to get it. I like showing those off. So essentially, you can skip some cutscenes in just straight black. I messed up that cutscene skip though. Oh, flexing and then I unflexed. Oh god, please. Right, so a bit of movement here. There's a Fire Arga chest up here that I need to grab. Right, cool. And land on there, cool. So another reason why I grabbed the Terra D-Link is for this piece of movement here. Otherwise you got to put on air slide. You got to do a bunch of air slides and swings and God only knows what else. If you got 2 slide dashes, you can just slide dash across it. It's free as all hell. So my last menu in this world, well, I say last menu, second to last menu in the game. I shove on another Fire Arga and another... Oh, cool, I got another one there. That's another good cutscene skip. Real god right here, obviously. So, this fight. So when I first fought this guy in Radiant Garden, he was affected by pretty much everything. He's now only affected by Ignite. So, yeah, I'm going to spam it on him. Oh, actually, Gold did that split. That was a really good fight. That was a very good fight. Oh, that was a really good fight. So essentially, you just kind of have to stand there and like throw stuff at him, and hopefully he gets hit. The ignites you kind of want to space out. You don't want to use them right after each other, so he takes the full damage from the ignite. That move he did where he dives underground, if he gets hit 10 times, he automatically does that move. That's his desperation move. The way his activates is by getting hit. So if you hit and it staggers him 10 times, then he does that dive attack. So I'm just entering this world to do one piece of movement, and then I watch it, then I skip a couple of cutscenes, and I leave. It's pretty hot stuff. This cutscene, get some unlocks. It doesn't really matter. So I mentioned at the beginning of the run about how you got to time your cartwheel inputs in order to go a little bit faster. In this next world, there are tornadoes that chase you, and you can only just escape them. Well, you escape them kind of well, but if you mash your cartwheels, you cannot escape them at all. You just can't. So if you time them, you can escape them. Have I got... Oh, 10 high potions, that's fine. So... Oh god, that's not what I want. That's fine, right. So... So what we used to do in this run is there's a Cura chest in OC that we used to grab. No, allow that. Basically, basically your healing command for final bosses in this run is pretty much all based on... Oh, cool. Did I get a cure drop? Or, oh, yo, I got a bunch of high potion drops. Let me use them instead. That's kind of what we've routed in this category to be as optimal as possible. So, the only curing items we get are via drops for the end of the game. And also, the Keyblade I put on his Pixie Petal is got a magic stat of 6, so it's a huge increase over the one we had before, which I believe has 4, I think? Yeah, 4. It's a +2 magic increase, which is incredibly strong. So the next boss fight we're going into is Break. So hopefully this guy goes well. You can skip his desperation move if you get incredibly good luck on his cycle and damage that you deal to him. But it's not very consistent. So I'm just going to try and concentrate here just so I don't die, because this guy can kill you really easily. So I'm going to keep walking up to him. So when he's doing this cycle, you can actually kind of stun lock him a little bit. Oh, nice. So now I'm just going to spam a bunch of fires. That was a very, very good fight. That was a DM skip, by the way. So his DM, he jumps up into the middle of the platform and he shoots a bunch of black lasers at you. That was a DM skip fight right there. Right, so this final boss, this is Vanitas. Vanitas is what we call him, but essentially it's Vanitas who's taken over Ven's body. That was bad. Oh god, didn't even do that, that's fine. I was going to stop moving here. This fight's going horribly right now, it doesn't really matter to be honest. So essentially, I try and... Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. So essentially, I try and stay by a set of mind squares. So basically, he gets hit by them continuously. I'm going to use the high potion there, like that. So I place one in the middle there, so he gets hit by something on the way out of his move in the middle there. Nice. Nice. That was kind of a bad fight, but whatever. So, let me just skip through this rubbish at the end. Cool. Right, so that was a speed run, we'll call it. Of Aqua Beginner. Oh, I didn't call time, did I? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's all good, man. I think I figured it out pretty quickly when the game wasn't being played anymore. A very good run, though.
The time was on the last hit of the final boss. I completely forgot that I was doing a marathon run. I was like, yeah, I'm in there. And I did my own split, and I didn't tell you. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. What was the time on stream?
What I'm seeing is 51:55.
Oh yeah, that's you probably stopped it when I was on the final screen, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's about 30 seconds. So yeah, it was a 51:25. Well, about that because I had to pause at the start because streams went down. Yeah, so feel free to kick me out whenever you feel like.
Alright, I mean, sounds good. Didn't know if you had any final words or anything.
I'll just say shout outs to all the Birth by Sleep guys. That's about all I've got. Oh yeah, shout outs to Wyatt for loving Terra Beginner. That's the general shout out I've always got to give.